Hey guys, I'm Zach the Movie Fan, and I hope you all had a nice Thanksgiving, and now we're going to be talking about Silent Hill F. And I'm swearing doing this because I have a little bit more free time this week, and not because I really don't want to watch Resident Evil Retribution. I swear. Yeah, I'm a terrible liar. But admittedly, this is more interesting to talk about than Resident Evil Retribution. So yeah, some of my viewers may be wondering why am I finally talking about this game now? Especially considering that I'm very late to the party. Well, a couple reasons. The biggest reason being that honestly, I just really couldn't find the time for it with other stuff that was going on at the time, and so on and so forth. Not only that, but when I was finally getting through the stuff I needed to get through, I already found that more than enough people had done their videos talking about this game, so I figured, why bother? But you know what? Screw it. I'm a Silent Hill fan. I don't care if this video is overdue. I want to talk about this game. So yeah. However, it was actually because of how good the remake of Silent Hill 2 was that I was even more excited for Silent Hill F. I mean, if that's what a remake of an original Silent Hill game is like, imagine what a new Silent Hill game will be like with a new setting, new time period, new everything. So, what are my thoughts? I fucking love this game. I love this game. And I was unfortunately disheartened when I saw a lot of the early reviews of people hating on the game just for being different and being woke, and it genuinely pissed me off. Now, let me make this clear. If you don't like this game, that's totally fine. Hell, I actually want to know why you don't like the game. If you don't like this game, seriously tell me down in the comments below. I could use more comments on my videos. Seriously. Like, legit, if you don't like this game, tell me reasons why in the comments. You know what I mean? All I ask is that your criticisms are valid. The G-Man. The G-Man Lives, which I highly recommend looking up his stuff. He did a video of this game, and while he didn't necessarily hate it, he didn't love it either. It just really wasn't for him. He just really couldn't get into how different this game was compared to the other Silent Hill games. You know what? That's fine. And you know what? He broke down why he couldn't get that into it. I don't agree with his opinion, but at least he offered an actual constructive argument. I'm just saying, that's the kind of responses I want to see. I don't want to see responses that say it's nothing like the other games, so it's automatically bad. Oh, look, it's another strong female character. Oh, look, it's another woke game. Those are the criticisms I can't stand. You know what I mean? This is why, when it comes to political situations or political controversy, any of that shit, if I review something that has that kind of stuff, I'm going to leave it out, because I'm not a political activist. I'm just a guy that likes movies and video games. Can I just be a guy that likes movies and video games? Just saying. But enough bitching about anti-woke movie or game critics on YouTube. Let's actually talk about this game. Silent Hill F goes in a very different direction compared to the previous titles. I mean, okay, there are a couple things that are somewhat similar to previous Silent Hill games, but for the most part, I feel this game really does go in its own unique direction. This game follows Hinako, a Japanese high school girl living in a small Japanese village. I believe it takes place around the 1960s. She's getting, one day when she gets together with her friends, her entire town gets surrounded in a thick fog and these horrific monsters show up. And Hinako is forced to defend herself. And that's not even involving this other alternate storyline with another version of Hinako, which I'll get into. But yeah, I loved the hell out of this game. Like, there are so many positives that this game brings. For starters, I love the main character. Hinako is easily, in my opinion, one of the best protagonists in a Silent Hill game since James Sunderland from Silent Hill 2. Yes, I am dead serious. I loved this character. I loved her story, I loved her journey, and I just loved like this deep dive that this game takes us on into her as a character and her struggles and inner turmoils. I love this character so much, and I loved the story so much. This is the only Silent Hill game where I actually felt obligated to start over on a new game plus and try and get through as many endings as possible, which I did. The only ending I didn't get was the UFO ending. And that was really only because I felt that the true ending I got was honestly satisfying enough. I honestly felt like I could stop after getting that true ending, because I felt really genuinely satisfied. Admittedly, like, the way the game tells its story can be a bit confusing at first, but I think that's why you get this huge urge to, like, play through the game again, because you want answers for everything, and the game does deliver answers. Now I actually played through this game. I believe I started playing it. When I started playing it, it was with Japanese. It was with the Japanese language with English subtitles. But I believe in New Game Plus, I tried it out again, but this time with the English dub. And honestly, I think the English dub is pretty good for this. However, if I had to pick, I would probably pick the Japanese language only because it feels more authentic to the setting. And if I'm going to be honest, I kind of think the voice acting for the Japanese version, I think the Japanese voice cast, I think they do a better job. No offense to the English dub, but the voice cast they got for the Japanese voice actors, like, they all did an amazing job. Like, they all gave 1,000,000%, especially the actress they got to voice Hinako. Now, I have heard some criticisms about the game, and while I can kind of understand it, I also respectfully disagree. I heard that some people really couldn't get into that second half of the game where in that dark area, which I guess you could argue is meant to be reminiscent of Otherworld, the Otherworld sections from previous Silent Hill games. Like, the parts of that game where Hinako cuts off her arm and replace it with a fox arm and becomes more and more of a monster. I did hear that some fans couldn't get into that. Like, it felt weird. The gameplay started feeling more like an action game. I'm gonna be honest, I honestly really enjoyed it. You could argue it kind of doesn't fit, but I was really digging it a lot. And also, I think this was done on purpose. Like, this game is going out of its way to show how different the two versions of Hinako are. When you're playing as Hinako, when you're playing as normal Hinako, it feels tense. Like, you don't feel completely defenseless, but you do know that you can't stand off every single monster that's thrown at you, and you got to be careful and dodge attacks and such. When you're Fox Hinako, you feel like an absolute beast, just shredding through guys, and it's and that's the idea. Because these two versions of Hinako are very different, so the gameplay being very different between the two makes sense. And honestly, I thought it was a very cool and unique concept for a Silent Hill game. Another thing that makes playing through this game a second time a ton of fun is when you play through it a second time, you actually do unlock some new stuff. Or at least one. In particular, the Sacred Sword. When I heard that this was a thing in the game, I tried my damnedest to figure out how to get it and to make sure I didn't miss anything. Because I love katanas. It's my favorite kind of sword. There's two kinds of swords I really like. Ones that are big as hell great swords or katanas. My absolute two favorites. So you have so if you have a weapon that's either of those in your game, I'm gonna go to hell and back to get it. I literally was every time I came back to the Hinako parts, when I came back to a normal Hinako, I legit went to hell and I legit made sure to have a walkthrough open so I didn't mess anything up. Which, by the way, I have heard from some critics online that this game has a strong female character and then it automatically makes it bad or some stupid shit like that. Which, one, who gives a shit? What dumbass is like, oh, there can't be strong female characters in a Silent Hill game. And I'm just sitting here like, have you forgotten Heather Mason? You know, the fan favorite character from Silent Hill 3? But yeah. I can't stand criticisms like that, because they're so dumb. But even with that statement, though, I don't think that's entirely true. Don't get me wrong, Hinako isn't, defenseless. She does defend herself, and can at least handle herself against some of the monsters in Silent Hill. But she's not this absolute badass. In fact, as you learn more about her, especially through the other playthroughs, you really do see a lot more of her vulnerabilities and issues, and that's what makes her such a compelling character. Not how strong she is, but learning more about her through her weaknesses, through these vulnerabilities, through these fears she has. Like other Silent Hill games, this game does discuss some very serious issues, especially stuff that I believe was going on around the time. Arranged marriage is a huge theme of the game. As well as child abuse and things and drug addiction. And very similar to Silent Hill 2, the game handles these subjects very well. I also just love the freaky as hell visuals in this game. This is the reason why I was excited when I heard Ryukishi07 was going to be behind the game. Say whatever you want about him, but he knows how to come up with some fucked up imagery and just come up with a really disturbing story. Even though I'm sure somebody else probably did the art design for the game, all of this feels like what I expected from Ryukishi07 doing a Silent Hill game. Like, it has all his fingerprints all over it, and I love it. But yeah, that's everything I really enjoyed about the game. Was there anything I disliked? The game clocks at 30 frames per second, which is, I guess, a bit odd for a new game charged for $70. Is it enough to, like, ruin my experience? Hell no. The soundtrack is good, but definitely not as memorable as previous ones. I mean, it's not bad. I'm pretty sure this is the same composer for Silent Hill 2. It's not bad, but I definitely won't remember any tracks from this game like I do with the other ones. Alright. I guess I should talk about the combat, because that's also been a bit of a hot topic between some fans. The gameplay style in this is very different compared to other games. This Silent Hill doesn't have guns at all. So you're going to be using melee weapons throughout the entire thing. And there are a bunch of different melee weapons throughout the game, and all of them have their advantages and disadvantages. Some are fast and quick, but don't do the most damage. While there are others that do a lot of damage but are a lot slower. Because the combat is melee focused, the game prioritizes wanting you to dodge attacks, counterattack, and keep a focus on the stamina bar. So basically, it's Dark Souls, but in Silent Hill. I mean, that's a gross oversimplification, but that's essentially what it is. I can understand some Silent Hill fans not getting into this gameplay style, but I personally enjoyed it. I thought the melee weapons were really satisfying to use, especially when you're playing as Fox Hinako. You can enter that like super form where Fox arm grows ginormous, and you just feel so strong and badass. I honestly thought the combat system was fun and different. And that's honestly, again, that's what I wanted from this. I wanted something different and unique, and I'm very glad that it gave me that. I should state, however, I played this game on the easiest difficulty, because I'm just not the kind of guy who finds really hard games fun. I mean, there are very few games I can think of where I enjoy it so much I try it on other difficulties. In fact, I can only count one, and that's Devil May Cry. At least 5 and 3. And 4. But like, I just don't find playing games that are ridiculously hard fun, so I always pick easy. And I say that because I imagine some people who played this game on normal really found the combat frustrating. So I'm just saying, this is just my perspective while playing the game on easy mode. But yeah. So, I think I covered everything. But yeah, in conclusion, I really enjoyed this game a lot. This game has proved to me that Silent Hill is back from the dead, and it's back with a goddamn vengeance, and I love it. It is such a good year. It's honestly so satisfying because when I remember back when the PS3 and the Xbox 360 came out, all the horror titles sucked. Like, Resident Evil is trying to be more like Call of Duty, thanks to with games like Resident Evil 5 and 6. And Silent Hill was trying to be more of an action game either, and not really knowing what the hell to do. Fatal Frame was in the trash. with 4 and 5, which nobody gave a shit about and nobody played. But now all the big three are back again. Resident Evil's coming out with Resident Evil 9, which looks really good. We have a new Silent Hill game that's fantastic, and next year we're getting a remake of Fatal Frame 2. So these old school series are back, and I'm so happy. Whatever direction Silent Hill goes in from here, I am all on board. I'm going to give Silent Hill F an A+. This is fantastic. So, Silent Hill F, have you guys played it? What did you guys think about it? Let me know down in the comments below, and if you like what you see here, like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more. And yes, you will get a video on Resident Evil Retribution, I promise. Ugh, I'm not looking forward to it. But, whatever. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you next time.